What's the name of the piece you're working on at the moment?
He's called the Airborne soldier.
And how did it come about? How did you get hold of the commission?
Basically, I was first approached by Tommy Simpson and Richard Stacey, and they came along to one of my open weekends here. I had an exhibition and they all introduced themselves, and it went from there. So I was given the great news that I'd be doing the commission.
Now, of course, the focal point of any sculptor is always going to be the face, the emotion that this chap's saying. Now, how do you go about creating the face, or do you just simply take it from life?
Well, actually, it was really helpful because at the Imperial War Museum, Duxford, we had a photo session, and Jim and Kilbride, who very kindly got in all the gear for us. And so I had a photo session and we filmed it as well. And first of all, to make sure we got the right kit on. But he was a serving soldier. He's a sergeant now, but he's actually served in Afghanistan and other places. So, he's a real McCoy. And he had this really intense expression. I didn't really need to ask him to do anything. I always shoot. I take loads and loads and loads of photographs. I sketch, I take measurements. And he just had that intense stare. You wouldn't want to mess with him. He meant business. And also, you can imagine the adrenaline you have. You're about to jump out of a plane. You have to have that intensity in the expression, and I've got that. So looking forward to sculpting him, doing the commission.
So what actually happens when you have the commission? You're asked to produce something. Yeah. How much of your artistic interpretation can you add to that? Because, of course, a lot of people, when it comes to military things, are quite sort of dogmatic about making sure it's right.
Yeah, so this is sort of a new world for me, really. So I like working with a client. I want to make something they're happy with. So really, apart from me wanting to, give lots of life to the figure, he's actually got 1 foot forward. So it's not a completely symmetrical pose. I always think visually interesting if you've got 1 foot forward, 1 back. So it's not perfectly symmetrical. But he's a jump-ready soldier. He's a paratrooper about to jump out of a plane. So at the end of the day, he's got to be in a specific position with his kit. So, I can't exactly have him singing and dancing, but, my flourish will be how I sculpt all his kit, how I sculpt the straps. Everything will have to be exactly the right size. I respect that kind of detail. I have to get that right. But the flourishes I make with the modelling, that's perhaps where I can, put myself into it, if you see what I mean. So.